Hello there, ShadowRock here with an update on this Mega Man statue. That's right, it looks like the Mega Man statue that was used for photo opportunities at E3 2018 last year is for some reason getting ready to be deployed once again. This was brought to our attention by ProtoDude, who at this point needs little introduction if you've been following this channel for a while. He found the Instagram account of one Mark the Cosma, who posted pictures of the E3 2018 Mega Man statue undergoing maintenance. Not only is our blue bomber getting a fresh coat of paint, but the Mega Buster has also been repositioned with the power meter facing outwards rather than inwards. Like I said, the last time this statue was seen was at E3 2018 for those photo ops, alongside Rush and Blockman for Mega Man 11. As you can guess, the statue's primary purpose was to promote Mega Man 11 since that was the big show where people could get to play the game. That begs the question, what is the reasoning behind this statue now going under maintenance after a year? Could it be for photo opportunities at upcoming events like the Game Awards or Jump Festa and Rockman Live 2020 over in Japan? I'm not entirely sure about those last two because this Mega Man statue has not been seen outside of the United States as of yet. So we don't know for sure if they are going to go ahead and ship over this statue all the way to Japan for a couple of events. So if they aren't shipping it overseas, could it be for an event around here, stateside? If so, what? And even if we are to assume this statue might appear in Japan, Rockman Live 2020 is self-explanatory, but in the case of the Game Awards or Jump Festa, why is there a need for the Blue Bomber to appear there? Especially since Capcom is fixing to reveal Resident Evil 3 Remake. The explanation could be really boring actually. We could say it's not going to go to any shows at all, and this Mark just bought the statue and is now redoing it for his own collection. Or, if it is being deployed for a show again, it's just going to be for a fun photo opportunity and it doesn't relate to any kind of Mega Man announcements at all. But if we're going to go with either of those two, the video would end right here, and that wouldn't be a very fun video now, would it? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to rev up those conspiracy theory engines and put on those tinfoil hats, because it's time to go full throttle with some speculation. The topic for today is the mysterious major 2020 Mega Man game. Specifically, is Mega Man 12 the next major Mega Man game? Now, before you pause the video and type in the comments down below, but ShadowRock, it has to be X9, it has to be! I'm not discrediting X9 as the next major Mega Man game. Actually, there's a lot of reasons why it could be X9. Rockman X Dive exists, Mega Man X Legacy Collection 1 and 2 did pretty well, and there is the hint in the booklet for the soundtrack that suggests that X's fight is not yet over, among other hints. But some things have been going on recently that, while alone they do not outright confirm Mega Man 12, it does at least raise an eyebrow. So let's go over what we know. Bearing in mind that this is just a for fun speculation video, it can be and should be taken with a grain of salt. Our speculation with Mega Man 12 begins with a conversation I had with ProtoDude himself just a couple of days ago. Without going into detail, he has heard things that would suggest that whatever the major Mega Man game is, it may indeed release in 2020. When you consider that this month is December and 2020 is just right around the corner, it seems reasonable that there might be some kind of announcement rather soon for the upcoming game. After all, Mega Man 11 was announced 2 years ago at the anniversary for Mega Man. ProtoDude has heard that there isn't going to be an anniversary announcement this year, but that wouldn't necessarily rule out an announcement either this month or next month. Of course, it could always be later than that as well, considering that right now they are working on getting Mega Man 0 NCX Legacy Collection ready to go. But if we are to focus on the near future in terms of announcements, there is several candidates of places where this announcement could theoretically happen. In chronological order, we have the PlayStation State of Play presentation that is happening on December 10th at 6 AM Pacific Time. Wow, that's pretty early in the morning, isn't it? Which might suggest at some worldwide announcements. There is the Game Awards on December 12th, the big one, Jump Festa 2020, happening from December 21st to December 22nd, and the big one for Rockman fans, Rockman Live 2020, happening on January 4th, 5th, and 18th of next year. Now, let's address the elephant, or should I say the nemesis in the room, Resident Evil 3 Remake. Yes, that game was leaked by a PlayStation Store listing, which boy, Capcom has really bad luck with PlayStation Store listings leaking their games. We had details for Mega Man 11 leaked that way, we had the existence of Mega Man 0 and ZX Legacy Collection leaked that way, and now this game. So yes, the writing is on the wall that the next big game Capcom is going to be focusing on for the near future is indeed Resident Evil 3 Remake, which makes it very unlikely that Mega Man is going to appear during the State of Play, the Game Awards, and Jump Festa. Where will Resident Evil 3 Remake be announced? Well, it's definitely not going to be at the Game Awards. That is because the host of the Game Awards came out recently and said there was nothing Resident Evil 3 related planned for the show. He went on to state that nothing from the Game Awards in terms of announcements has been leaked yet. So that's out at least for RE3, and while I personally find it to be unlikely, that does at least give Mega Man more of a chance to appear there. Usually the biggest of the biggest announcements is reserved for the Game Awards, but a new Mega Man game like Mega Man 12 or X9 might be pretty cool for the crowd. But probably the biggest nail in the coffin against Mega Man appearing this month is the Jump Festa lineup right now. You see, 5 of the 6 games that's said to be at Jump Festa for Capcom has already been announced, with the 6th game still being a mystery. But we already know what that game's going to be, it's Resident Evil 3. So unless miraculously they don't announce Resident Evil 3 there, or at the State of Play, which I'm pretty sure that's going to happen at either of those places, considering that the State of Play is said to be the last one for the year, PlayStation would want to let people know what's coming up next year. It seems very unlikely that Mega Man is going to be making an appearance at Jump Festa, at least on the show floor. So maybe nothing will happen this month, who knows? But let's look forward to next month, with the most likely candidate for a Blue Bomber announcement happening, and ProtoDude seems to think that something might happen there as well. It's Rockman Live 2020. Now, this event is very interesting. Normally I would say there's no way a new Mega Man game would be announced at a Japanese exclusive concert. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Wouldn't you want to announce it worldwide if you have such a big title waiting in the wings? Now, to be fair, the other branches of Capcom could easily drop the trailer simultaneously with the concert announcement, so that's a solution for it right there. Maybe this announcement won't be hyped up like 11 was. But here's the thing, the set lists for these concerts are very interesting. They contain the likes of Mega Man 0 and ZX Legacy Collection, which obviously they gotta promote it, right? Then there's another weird addition, Mega Man Battle Network of all games. I know they've been releasing merchandise for the Battle Network series, but why feature it in a concert over something like Mega Man X? The answer is the Rockman EXE mobile game that's said to be released in Japan in 2020. Yes, the same one that's supposed to be heavy on the gacha, but that's besides the point. So that's 2 series right there that's being featured in the concert that has future titles that they want to promote. And now, to complete our puzzle, we have Mega Man 2, which is the 3rd and last game to be featured in the Rockman Live 2020 concert. So, if 0 and ZX Legacy Collection and Battle Network are getting new games, or collections, where does that lead the Classic series? We had Classic Legacy Collection 1 and 2 already, Mega Man 11 is already a thing, so what are they? Oh, exactly. Perhaps Capcom is wanting to promote a certain upcoming Classic series game. I wonder what it could be. Now let's consider this for a moment. There's a lot of buzz going around this Rockman Live 2020 concert over in Japan. It seems like it's going to be even bigger than the 30th anniversary concert last year. There's a whole new Capcom sound team band making their debut at this concert. They have several guests as well, including the voice actors for Meto Hikari and Rockman EXE from the anime. And there is also a mention that Uchi-san wants to sneak in some news for Mega Man in the concert. And forget about the concert for a moment, there's a lot of other things going on that just raises the eyebrow once again. There's Dragalia Lost, and its Mega Man crossover that heavily hits on that Mega Man 2 nostalgia, just like the concert that's also featuring specifically Mega Man 2. There's Rockman X Dive. We found in the data for the closed beta test that there is going to be Mega Man and Proto Man. And what is one of Mega Man's specials in Rockman X Dive? The Leaf Shield. Where's the Leaf Shield from? Mega Man 2. Wait a minute, I'm seeing a pattern here. Mega Man 2 at the concert, Dragalia Lost, and Rockman X Dive. Could it be a Mega Man 2 remake in the 11 style coming in 2020? No, it can't be. But it would be funny if that happens. At the very least, could it be Mega Man 11 DLC? It's been over a year though, and Protodude heard that it's going to be a new game, so I don't think it's going to be that. So it's either Mega Man 12 or something else. That's assuming if a new game is announced at the 2025 concert. But hey, that's the fun of speculating. We don't actually know what's going to go down. But the fact that this statue is now going under maintenance, presumably to make another public appearance, does seem like something related to the classic series is going down here. And it could be at any of these upcoming events. The timing just seems too perfect. Now wait a second, why would Capcom want to make Mega Man 12? Haven't they heard from the fans of the X series and all the other series like Legends and Battle Network and Star Force and ZX and even the two people that like crossover that they want sequels to? Won't anyone think of the poor fans that have been waiting over a decade for their sequels? And to be honest guys, I hear ya, and I'm with you too. It would be disappointing if Capcom went ahead and just made Mega Man 12 right now, right on the heels of 11. We want these other games like X9 so bad. And you also have to consider the franchise fatigue that the series went through shortly before the great hiatus that went on for 8 years. They kept releasing sequel after sequel every year of the same games. People are just getting sick of Mega Man. If Capcom does this again with releasing classic sequels every year or two, it's gonna get old fast and the franchise may find itself in the same place it was back then. So yes, I do prefer if they gave classic a break for a moment and gave the other series some love. I want that so bad. Here's the thing though, sometimes you gotta think from Capcom's perspective and what their investors are saying. Consider this, Mega Man 11 just did gangbusters, at least for a game coming out after such a big hiatus. It reached 1 million sales. It was nominated at the Game Awards last year. The Rockman 11 soundtrack just won a Legend Sound Award at the PlayStation Game Music Grand Prize, where users could vote for their favorite video game soundtrack, and Rockman 11 took 10th place out of 18 games. Say what you will about the soundtrack, I liked it a lot. That's a pretty cool honor. Suffice to say, Mega Man 11 is definitely on the minds of the people at Capcom. They see that success, and I'm not saying they did, but maybe they looked at that and they said, you know what, let's make Mega Man 12 a sequel would be in our best interest. We may disagree with that, but as I've always said, money talks. If they think 12 is going to make them the most money, that's probably what they're going to do. And no amount of us fans complaining about it is probably going to change their mind. Now, I'm not saying go pester Capcom and tell them we don't want Mega Man 12. I'm not saying that at all. We don't even know what the next game's gonna be. Not even Protodude knows. That is very much still a mystery. Like I said, this video is just speculation. I'm just putting what we know out there, and from there, how you interpret the information is entirely up to you. All we do know for sure is that the series producer, Kazuhiro Tsuchiya, has said that the next major game is already in development. That's it. But hey, what if Mega Man 12 got made? How would I feel about it? I wouldn't be too mad, honestly. Like, I prefer X9 or maybe another RPG game over Mega Man 12, obviously. But the way I see it is, Mega Man 11 was a safe game, right? Yeah, there's a new double gear system and some other quality of life improvements, but for the most part, it was a very basic and short game. I like to think Capcom went with making this game as safe as possible so that the first game after such a big hiatus wouldn't just flop out of the gate. Experimenting too much with the formula may have been dangerous for them after such a long time. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure a good chunk of that 2-year development time went to making the engine, getting Mega Man's new design, as well as all the other characters just right, the physics and everything else. But with a theoretical Mega Man 12, now they got this great engine in place, Mega Man's ready to go, so all they really gotta do is make the new stages, tweak and refine what's already there, really expand on the concept, add things, and just go a bit wild with things. Now is the time to really start experimenting with the base formula that 11 presented. My personal hopes for Mega Man 12 would be more playable characters, give us Bass and Proto Man and Roll. While we're at it, let's do it. Give me some secrets to find, like in Mega Man 8 with the bolts. Branching paths would be a cool thing to come back, since 11's level design was very linear. And my personal biggest gripe with Mega Man 11 was the very short Wily Fortress. Only having 2 big stages, and then you get the boss gauntlet and Wily essentially. It went by pretty fast. So with 12, I would hope that they would expand the Wily Fortress section, maybe even give us 2 castles to tackle, like we had back with Mega Man 4 through 6. Giving us more to do throughout the main adventure would be pretty good. Extra content outside of that would be cool too, like the aforementioned playable characters. Maybe they could even have playable Robot Masters for the first time since Powered Up. I'd like to see the endless attack mode from Mega Man 9 and 10 make a comeback. I know there was that Dr. Light's trial in 11, but it wasn't really the same. And some other fun little challenges like that. Of course, Capcom could just keep adding on to things, just go wild with the concept beyond anything I could imagine, to make a pretty interesting Mega Man Classic game. If they did that for 12, I would be pretty happy with it, and maybe we'll get X9 another day. That's just a big thing I'm thinking of after Predator Dude said that it might come out in 2020. And then you consider that the game started development right after 11, so that means it's been in the works for a year now. I'm not saying they couldn't revive Mega Man X in a year and a half from then till whenever the game releases, but in my humble opinion, it seems a little unlikely to try to make the first entry for the X series in over a decade in that amount of time. Like I said, it's possible, but I would imagine that Capcom would want that to cook in the oven a bit longer, just like with Mega Man 11. Of course, they could reuse some things from 11 when making the new X game, but that's assuming they keep with the same art style and all that too. Yeah, it's a very interesting situation, and it is a situation where if it is X9, I would be worried that they might be rushing it. But if it's Mega Man 12, maybe even in the way that 12 is something to satisfy Mega Man fans until X9 comes out. But I don't know how many teams are working on Mega Man games right now, since now we know that EXE Mobile is also being done at Capcom Japan. I can see things working out that way though, have these mobile games in 12 while they flesh out the idea for X9. Or of course, we're going to be getting X9 next year and that's going to be pretty hype. Just hope it ain't rushed, right? Either way things shake out, we got some interesting times for the Mega Man fandom ahead. Rockman X Dive, which we still don't know when that game's coming out, not even Proto Dude knows, but he did bring up a good point to me. We talked about in a previous video how he was shown those festive skins, or in other words Christmas costumes, and considering this month is December, when Christmas is supposed to happen, that would be a bit embarrassing for Capcom Taiwan if they have to delay Rockman X Dive when they already made these Christmas costumes. If they release this game after Christmas, the costumes wouldn't really be relevant anymore. So let's hope we hear something about that game soon. Then there's EXE Mobile and whatever this major Mega Man game is. Guys, what do you think this game is going to be? Is it going to be 12? Indeed? Is it going to be X9? Or are you Madman enough to believe it's something else? Let me know in the comment section below. And I'm gonna get out here before I say anything else crazy. For all things Mega Man, stay tuned to ShadowRockZX. Thank you so much for listening to my dumb rambling, and for watching. Until next time, rock on, and have yourselves a great day.